Right. I think with the first question first, I do want to respond, but let me first give the full-time regulator member responsible for electricity the opportunity, and then I will respond, Chris. Oh no, this is the one relating to, I think, the scathing, as you said, the scathing statements made by Eskom relating I think against Nersa, saying it causes harm to the economy. They cast in doubt on our ability to deal with complex issues like this. And then, do you want to first deal with that? And basically what Chris is asking is whether we just to give assurance on our abilities.
Okay. All right. I think I will say that it is an unfortunate statement or perception, which is something that I think stakeholders out there always try and avoid casting doubts over any regulatory authority, and try to put out there a negative perception over the work of the regulatory authority. Because when you do that, you try and sort of put some intimidation on the work of the regulator simply because things do not suit you. And as a regulator, it is the nature of our job that when we do what we have to do, we don't do it because we represent Eskom. We don't represent Eskom. Our mandate, it is very clear that we balance the interest of various stakeholders, the public, as well as the South African economy at large. And yes, we need to also consider sustainability of Eskom. So if Eskom has come up with figures, we have to use the standard that we use, the standard of efficiency, but in addition to that, prudency. So where we found that the figures that they presented to us are not standards that, or the figures are not in line with that standard of prudency, and they are not operating in an efficient manner, which is out there, the evidence is there, and in fact themselves, they had put it forward when they offered an apology. So I say it is really unfortunate, but the skills here at Nersa that were there even in the previous determinations are still there, and the team that does the work, not just from the management side of things, that team, it is still there and is still doing the work. So there is no doubt that Nersa still has the skills and is conducting its business maybe in a much more rigorous manner. And if Eskom was always feeling that they are comfortable, that the regulator will agree with them, it is unfortunate that our due diligence is much more strengthened, and therefore we'll do what is right. Before we allow for compensation, we'll make sure that there's good performance. We'll make sure that there's accountability, and that is what drives our process, and the skills are there, and we're doing our work not to necessarily please Eskom, but just to make sure that we follow our legislation, but ensure that we will be reasonable, and we will make sure that Eskom is operated in an efficient manner for the benefit of the South African economy.